Welcome back to Wisdom with the Wise Counselor podcast. I'm your host, the Wise Counselor, also known by my birth name. It's simply Lateef. This podcast is all about building your emotional resiliency, thinking about wellness and mental health, reclaiming your authority, and learning how to live your life on purpose, in purpose, 24/7, 365. And today, listen, family, I'm inviting you into a reflection that caught me completely off guard. Did you hear me? This caught me completely off guard. It wasn't a deep therapy session or a meditation in the morning or some type of breakthrough conversation I was having. No, it happened as I entered, get this, a craft store, like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. Well, not Joann's because, they closed, RIP. But listen, I was walking into Michael's and just looking for a little bit of something to decorate the house, maybe make my house sparkle up a little bit more for this latter half of the summer. And baby, I barely stepped through the sliding doors. And before I knew it, I was being greeted by a full-blown Halloween takeover. Skeletons grinning at me. Witches with their glowing eyes staring at me. Pumpkins stashed all in carts and in aisles and in bins. Fog machines on sale. Halloween, yes, in June and early July. And I froze for a second. I looked around like, did I skip a month? Is the summer over? I know I work in education and the summer can be a little bit more flexible for me, but I don't think that I skipped an entire month of summer. I've heard of Christmas in July, and I'm sure you have too, but this was absolutely brand new, and it got me thinking about one thing. Why is it everything always tries to push itself into the next thing? Why is everything always trying to push us into the next thing? See, this wasn't just about Halloween decor. This was a message from the world saying, hurry up, move faster, skip what's current, be ready for what's next, even if you're not, okay? And I realized that that's the same message that many of us have internalized in our own lives. We rush through recovery because someone tells us you should be over it by now. We push ourselves into new relationships when our hearts haven't even exhaled from the last one. We chase success like it's a fire alarm, constantly sprinting from one goal to the next goal while we're ignoring the fire inside of us that's screaming for rest. It's screaming for rest and for truth and for true healing. But hear me, family. Just because the world is rotating, it doesn't mean that you have to walk in the same direction. Did you hear me? Just because the world is rotating, it doesn't mean that you have to walk in the same direction. You are not behind. I want you to suck that up today. I want those words to whisper to your mind and into your ears. You are not behind. I don't know who needs to be reminded of that today. You are not failing. You are not broken because you need more time. Let me tell you this, the pressure to constantly, quote unquote, be somewhere else is one of the greatest enemies of our peace. The pressure to constantly be somewhere else is absolutely one of the greatest enemies of peace. And I believe that peace is one of the highest forms of wealth that we can carry. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do, and I'm telling you this is some wisdom right here. The most courageous thing you can do sometimes is simply stay still. You see, wellness isn't about achieving perfection. It's not about performing readiness. It's about being real. So let me ask you, what if your wellness isn't in the next season, but it's in this one? Think about that. What if your wellness isn't in the next season? It's not coming, but it's right now in this season. What if the real work of becoming happens not when you force yourself to move forward, but when you dare to sit down with your truth and simply say, I'm not there yet, and that's okay. See, the problem isn't just about speed. It's a spirit of shame, right? The shame of feeling like we're falling behind when we're actually just pausing to breathe. The shame of being in a season of grief when everyone else is throwing parties. The shame of choosing boundaries when the world calls it selfish. The shame of not being ready, even though readiness is often a lie that the world sells us to keep us overworked, under-rested, and disconnected from ourselves, from our loved ones, and from our greater calling. You are not a machine. You are a human being, not a human doing. And rushing is not a requirement for worthiness. I need you to breathe that message in today. Rushing is not a requirement for worthiness. So here's the part of the podcast that I like to call the Wise Counselor Unfiltered. It's real, it's raw, it's honest, no fluff, no sugarcoating, and no filter. It's my top 3 truths that I want you to carry away from today's episode. Here's the first thought. Number 1. Stop letting other people's timelines set your pace. Let me say that again. Stop letting other people's timelines set your pace. Listen, we all have different clocks. Some people bloom early, some bloom late, and some of us, baby, we're blooming again after life tried to uproot us completely. You know, their calendar is not your command. Their urgency is not your emergency. Let yourself grow when the time is right, not when it's expected. Number 2, the calendar doesn't always determine growth. Your soul does. See, the world will always be obsessed with doing things, quote unquote, on time. But the soul doesn't care about deadlines. Your inner world is your divine clock. And that kind of timing, it honors depth over speed, process over pressure, and healing over hustling. Come on now. And the last thing I want you to think about is just because life moves fast doesn't mean you have to run. Some seasons are absolutely for sprinting. Some seasons are for strolling. Some are for sitting down completely still and silent with your hands open, saying, God, I'm here and I'm listening. See, don't be afraid to be in a season of rest or reevaluation. Movement for the sake of motion absolutely serves no purpose unless it's going to help you grow. In other words, anything that you're doing that serves no real purpose is noise. It's absolutely noise. And I need you to get in alignment with that today for yourself and for your process to being your best self. So I want you to pause. I want you to get present. I want you to be present. And most importantly, I want you to give yourself grace. I suck that moment, that message in today. Give yourself grace. Pause, be present, and give yourself grace. Family, that's what I have for today's episode. But more than anything, I hope you don't let this conversation go in one ear and out the other. I want you to truly reflect on this message today and sit with it. What season are you in? Not what season do you wish you were in, but what season are you really in right now? And who's been whispering, maybe even shouting that you're behind and that you're late and that you need to catch up? That's something to really think about, because the things that we're surrounded with, the words and the energy that people speak around and over us, it absolutely can attach itself to us, especially if we don't have the safeguards and the boundaries up to put that information where it needs to be. Sometimes people are spitting information at you that absolutely doesn't matter. It's not that you can't listen. It's just that what are you going to do with that information? That's the bigger question. See, maybe it's the media, maybe it's your peers, maybe it's your own inner critic. But here's what I know. Rushing robs us of reverence, and your life deserves to be honored, not hurried. And so we have to position ourselves to shut out the noise as appropriate and not feel any guilt, shame, or condemnation because we're choosing to do that. So give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to go slow, permission to sit with the unfinished, permission to enjoy the now, because your next jump might not be tomorrow. It needs to be when you are ready. I have to remind you, family, that great things do not happen overnight. I need you to take your time. Do not do anything unless you ease into yourself. I need you to pause, and I need you to get centered and then get recentered. And remember that when it is all said and done, you are the only one in control of your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions to what life throws your way. So here is some post-podcast homework I want you to think about before we get off the podcast today. Number one, it's a reflection. What is one area of your life where you've been rushing yourself? What is one area of your life where you've been rushing yourself? Be honest. Is it love? Is it in your career? Is it healing? Is it grief? Is it growth? Whatever it is, I want you to write it down and find some time to reflect on that. Number two, I want you to pause and practice. For the next 72 hours, that's 3 days, practice intentional slowness. That means taking a breath before you answer, walking without your phone, eating without multitasking, choosing one moment every day where you choose to intentionally slow down and simply be. And number three, it's a mantra for the week. I want you to say it loud each morning that you wake up. I am not behind. I am right where I need to be. My timing is divine, and my place and pace is holy, because it is. Well, family, I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Wisdom with the Wise Counselor. I know that you know this, but it goes without saying, I love you. I appreciate you joining me on these podcasts and walking this journey with me. But more importantly than that, I want you to know this. I absolutely believe in you. And I have absolutely no doubt that whatever you're walking through today, tomorrow, next week, next year, that you absolutely got this. Family, until next time, I want you to just be well. Breathe that in. Be well. Be still, be centered, and be well. Thanks again for joining me on Wisdom with the Wise Counselor. Until next time.